the volume might be a bit low because we're in school and we don't want to bother people in class. So shh. So yeah.
So today we're going to do for you our May wrap-up and our June TBR.
So let's get started. So this month I read 6 books. The first book I read was I Am the Messenger by Marcus Zuzak, and overall this book was pretty good and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads.
Cool. So the very first book that I read this month was Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin L. Ayers Science. And this is actually the very first LBGT book that I have read, and it was actually really great. I gave it, I don't know if I gave it a rating yet. I give it a 5 out of 5 stars, or I will on Goodreads. So yes, I definitely recommend going with this.
The next book I read was The Girl of Fire and Thorns, and I really liked this book. I've never read a high fantasy book where I guess religion kind of played a really big part in the character's development and the overall plot. And I really loved the heroine. She was very strong and was very capable of herself, and that was great. And overall, this book was just really great, and I'm looking forward to the next book in the series. And I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads.
The second book that I read this month was The Disreputable History of Frankie Landau Banks by E. Lockhart. It'll be right here. This is the very first E. Lockhart book that I've read, and it was actually really good. I really enjoyed reading it. It was a contemporary set at a boarding school, and it was just about this. It's about this girl whose name is Frankie Landau Banks, and she goes to this private school where there's actually a male secret society, and she wants to be a part of it, but they won't let her in. And so she just pulls a lot of pranks and does a lot of cool stuff like that. And it was actually a really good book, and I really enjoyed it, and I will give it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads.
The next book I read is actually The Archive by Victoria Schwab, and this is my very first Victoria Schwab book, and it lived up to all the hype. This was great. I loved this book. It was so great, and the world, it was just so different from other, I guess, kind of like supernatural books, and I just really love the concept of the archived and how after people die, like there's a record of their life, and it's really great. And I love the main protagonist. She wasn't irrational, I actually, like, in a way I really like understood what she was like. I related to her.
Nailed it.
Yes. I related to her really well, and I'm so excited to get The Unbound and finish up this duology, and I really want to read more Victoria Schwab book, and I gave this a 5 out of 5 on Goodreads.
The third book that I read this month was The Battle of the Labyrinth, which is the 4th Percy Jackson and the Olympians book. I hadn't finished this series yet, and so I decided that I wanted to finish it now so then I can hop on to the Heroes of Olympus series and finish that up when the book comes out. And so yeah, it was really great. Yes, it was amazing. Oh, it's by Rick Riordan, for all of you who did not know.
Okay, and the 4th book I read this month is my first Sarah J. Maas book, Throne of Glass, and this book also lived up to all the hype. I really love Selena. And
I love Selena too.
I really love the main character, Selena, in this book. We're still in school. I really love the main character, Selena. She was really strong. She wasn't irrational. She was very capable, and I loved how, like, even though she's an assassin and she's capable of killing a person with like a finger, she was still very girly, and those qualities about her contrasted like greatly between like her I guess like harsh demeanor as an assassin and the love triangle. Oh my goodness, I could not choose for the longest time who I wanted her to be with, but I've sort of like leaned towards one person now, and I won't tell you who because I want to read the next book in the series to really see if I do want her with that person. But yeah, and the romance was just great, and this got a 5 out of 5 on Goodreads.
Cool. So the next books that we both read, we actually read the very first 2 books in the All the Wrong Questions series by Lemony Snicket. There will be 4 books in this series,
yeah.
And it's a spin-off series from a series of unfortunate events, and it's actually in the perspective of 13-year-old Lemony Snicket, so it's supposed to be biographical, even though Lemony Snicket doesn't really exist.
Yeah, and it was just great diving back into the series or this world, because like it's been such a long time since I reread the series of unfortunate events books, and I just love reading this and trying to find connections between this series and that series, and there's so many, and I get so excited when I find it, and I just want an explanation of the whole world and what BFD is.
BFD.
Like, oh, you guys, I just love this.
But
yeah, it's so good.
This is a really great middle grade spin-off series.
And if you're looking for more Lemony Snicket,
oh my gosh,
read
this is so Lemony Snicket. It's amazing.
It's so great. And look at the cover. It's so cute.
Beautiful. And like even the inside, it's just like,
yeah,
you can't see it.
The illustrations,
it's like octopi.
Like there's very few illustrations, but I love the illustrations of this.
Yeah, it's really great. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now,
and they both got 5 out of 5 stars from me on Goodreads.
Yes.
And then,
next.
So that was our May wrap up. So I suppose we just we increased our book and our number of books that we read from last month a lot more.
And now that
because we had a lot more time.
And now that finals and APs and all that stuff
finals are over.
It's over. So that means that we will probably
get a lot more reading done
too,
next month. And summer.
Yes,
we're out in school next week.
Yep.
So a lot more. So videos soon.
Look forward to that. Oh, we are going to dive into our
June TBR now. So we actually
in preparation for The Fault in Our Stars,
which are
by John Green,
which we are watching.
We're watching Friday.
Tomorrow.
Friday. Tomorrow's Friday.
So exciting.
Yes. So we're super duper excited, and we
reread it.
We reread it,
and it's just as good as the first time.
Oh my gosh! It's so amazing.
Like all of our feels came back.
All the feels came.
And we definitely recommend that you reread this book before you watch the movie, because you just want the story fresh in your mind.
Exactly. It's absolutely amazing.
And yeah.
So yes, go read this if you haven't already.
And the book I'm reading right now is Graceling by Kristen Kishore, and it's about this girl. She has a grace, and it's a killing grace, so that means she's very adept at killing people. Do you see a pattern going on with the books I read? And I'm about 30 pages in, but it's really good so far, and I'm looking forward to where this is taking me, and yeah.
Cool. So the book that I'm currently reading is The Here and Now by Amber Shares. First of all, this cover is absolutely gorgeous. I really love it. And like the inside cover is very nice too. It's just so nice.
I know, right? Doesn't see that.
So beautiful. I got an autographed copy at Target, and so I was like, I really want to read this. I've read The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, and I really like Amber Share's style of writing, so I decided that I would read this. This is about a girl who's in the future, and so she travels back in time to live in a world that isn't destroyed by, like, I think it's mosquitoes, or it's like a bad plague, I guess you could say. And so she goes back, and so she's not supposed to tamper with time or talk to people. There's all these rules, and of course she meets a guy, and it's really great so far. Face thing if I can. Okay, cool. So yes.
And then the next book is actually a book we received as a gift from our librarian, which is great. I actually don't know what this book is about, but I guess it's
like book recommendations.
Based on like genre and
age
and because we're actually starting a book club at our school.
It's cool. Yeah. It's gonna be called Between the Lines Book Club.
So and the librarian is gonna be our advisor. So he actually gifted us with this book, and that's really exciting, and he's so nice, and we're really excited to read this and see what Rex it's gonna give us.
Yep. So yes. Thank you, Mr. Kovac. So
those two books or the ones that we showed you are the books that we're for sure gonna read in June. We don't really have any more TBR books.
We're at school. We didn't want to lug a bunch of books to school.
Yeah, and like we change our mind all the time. So that's why our TBR list is so short. But we hope you enjoyed this, and you should lower your head. We hope you enjoyed our video, and we'll see you next time.